Okay, so let's start with so today we will be discussing the writing portion of the IELTS exam. So you're required to do tasks for the general portion. Task 1, you're required to do a letter, and task 2, you would be asked to write an essay. There are different criteria on how they will grade your papers, and basically it's this. Like for task 1, you would get a higher band score if first you present accurate information. Second, you provide an overview. So that's how you write. Your 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 writing would provide it would present accurate information. It provides an overview. You support you support what you write with good data, and what else? For and basically it's the same. It's the same with listening. No, it's the same with speaking. Like you organize your information and ideas into paragraphs. You have one central idea in each paragraph, and you use a range of linking devices like however, furthermore. You're good in lexical resource, so you use a range of words. It's the same like speaking also. You paraphrase also when you write. You also use collocations. You write you write in a correct way. You don't spell wrong. What else? For grammar, of course, you're always correct. You use the proper tenses. You use a wide range of sentence structures. Remember last meeting we discussed sentence structures like, let's say you write in complex sentence structures, like several sentences joined together. You use a range of grammar tenses. So in one sentence there's a sentence a present with the present tense verb, and another sentence complex sentence with a past tense verb. What else? You use the correct punctuation. So you use period, comma, exclamation point, and correctly. And of course, you always avoid error. So that's how you get a higher band score in writing. So the writing task or the writing test, it's for 1 hour. And for that 1 hour, you need to do 2 tasks. So for those 2 tasks, for task number 1, the letter writing, that's for the general module, yeah? Because everybody will be taking general module in this class. So for task 1, the letter should be 150 words. That's the minimum. It should be 150 words. And let's say you can add 20 words. So maximum, a good letter would be 150 to 170 words. Then for task 2, wait, I have to mute you guys. Mute. Okay. But then you can unmute yourselves if you have any questions, as usual. So for task 2, your the minimum number of words is 250 words. That's a minimum. If you go less than 250 words for task 2, or for task 1, if you go less than 150 words, you get a minus point. So make sure like at least you average between, for task 1, 150 to 170. And for task 2, you average between 250 to 270. If you make it around 300 words, it's a bit wordy and it's quite long. So maybe you would get some minus points for that. But I suggest like keep it between 250 to 270 or 280. Like just add 20 to 30 words at most. Wait. So this is for the academic exam. For task 1, they would be presenting a table or a graph or a chart, and you have to describe it in an essay. But you wouldn't be doing that since you will be taking the general exam. So for task 2, it's the same with the general exam. you are asked to write an essay as an answer or as a response to a point of view, argument, or problem. We will be discussing the different kinds of essay questions later and how to answer them. So don't worry. It's easier if you how do you say it? If you know the types of questions, because there are different strategies on how to answer these types of questions. So for the general module, for task 1, you will be required to write a letter. Basically, it would be a formal letter, except if you are asked to write a letter to a friend. So if it's a letter for a friend, you write it in a personal way, but most of the time you should write in a formal way. Even for the essay part, you should write it formally. So for task 2, your task is to write an essay in response to a point of view, argument, or problem. It could be academic in style, but mostly like for coaches or tutors that I've watched online and for the books that I've read, they would always say, yeah, as mentioned earlier, write it in a formal way. It's better to be, how did they say it? Say it's better to be overdressed than underdressed when attending a party. So it's to say, like when you're writing, it's better to write it in a formal way compared to resorting to writing it in a personal way. So again, what would be the skills that would be assessed for writing? You would get the higher band score if the content is okay. You organize your ideas well. So for example, in the first paragraph, you explain what you would be writing about, and you would say, this is how I would organize, this is how I would explain my thoughts. So paragraph 1, you have your supporting ideas. Paragraph 2, another supporting idea. And the last paragraph would be a summary of the ideas you presented. So that would be a well-organized essay. Accuracy. Accuracy meaning if they ask the question, you answered it properly, accurately. Because some people, they do not tend to answer the question, unfortunately. For example, there would be a discussion on obesity or how to keep yourself healthy, or no, what kind of food should you eat to keep yourself healthy. That should be the answer. The answer should be, okay, I should eat some organic food or a lot of more vegetables, more veggies, or more fiber in the diet. This student would answer like, okay, to keep yourself healthy, you have to exercise. But the question previously was, what kind of foods would you eat? But the answer in his essay was, he was saying like, okay, he just read the word exercise on the question, keeping healthy on the question. So in his essay, he just mentioned exercise. So that's not being accurate, right? Again, if you use good vocabulary in your essays or in your letter, again, you would get a higher band score. And of course, you're grammatically correct. So for the task 1, you would need to write a letter responding to a given situation. You need to explain the situation, or sometimes you have to request for information. Ideally, for task 1, you have to spend 20 minutes. But if you can do it for less, say 15 minutes, that would be better. At least you would have more time doing the task 2. So ideally it should be around 20 minutes, and you have to write up a letter, 150 word letter. 150, 160, 170, that's good. So as mentioned earlier, it can be personal, semi-formal, or formal. Personal if you're writing to a friend. The structure of the letter is not so important because usually, like for the exams, they will already put, you don't need to write the addressee. Usually, you just need to put the salutation, like, Dear Genesis, already they would sometimes even put dear already on top of the on the paper, or on the instructions they already said start your letter with dear blank already. So you don't need structure for the letter. It's not that important from the format. But then again, at least when you write letters, make sure that at least make around 3 to 4 paragraphs, like one for introduction, second and third paragraph would be for the supporting ideas. Then lastly would be the summary or the call to action. And that's it. You just need to write kind regards, then comma, space, then your name. So for this one, this is the kind of letter or the exam that you're required to do. So if, as you would see here, it's a letter that should be addressed to a friend. So when writing this kinds of letter, it's informal or something personal. So you can just say dear Genesis or dear Cecil, something like that. So a friend has agreed to look after your house and pet while you are on a holiday. So write a letter to your friend. In your letter, you have to give contact details for when you are away. Then you have to give instructions about how to care for your pet. And lastly, you have to describe other household duties. So make sure in the letter that you all put all these points. Everything in the bullet points, it should be addressed, okay? So in the letter, everything. If you forget to answer, say, if you don't include this, describe other household duties in your letter, that's minus points for accuracy. So to be able to be very accurate, you have to put all the details that were asked here, these ones. So say if it's a friend, so now, just a mini exercise. I would ask you to write a letter to your friend and do this. I'll give you 30 minutes. Would that be enough, guys?
Yes, that will be fine.
Okay, I'll give you 30 minutes. Do this. So sorry. Do this and submit to me later. But for now, I want you to do, so 5:17, 30 minutes, 5:20, 5:50, 5:57. Yes. Am I correct? But let me know if you finish earlier, so I could check it. Okay. Write a letter to a friend. You don't need to put the address, just put their name. Then go ahead and writing the letter.
Okay.
Twenty. Minutes, 30, 20, 50 minutes. You guys finish? Or not yet?
Not yet, Mom.
Okay.
Little more time.
It's okay. Then I'll give like a model answer probably.
Done.
Other class? Tapos na kayo? How many minutes pa ba?
Not yet, ma'am.
Not
Another
yet?
10
Okay.
minutes.
10 minutes more? Okay. Rosemary, can you send it by WhatsApp, your answer, or? Okay, everybody
Yeah.
just later, yeah? So I could check it.
Yeah, I don't mind, but it's like not very much like beautiful writing. You may have a little difficulty to read, but I'm going to send it to you.
Type it then, type it.
Yes.
Type
Then
it
later,
I
later.
write it in the
yeah,
paper.
later I will type it and send it to you.
Yes, please. Please, yes.
Because my writing is running, so you will find a difficulty to read.
Yes, yes, please. Okay. Okay, take your time. The others take your time. But at least our target should be 20 minutes.
All right.
But still
No.
now, since should around 30 minutes would do.
I'm going to send to you to email. Oh,
Later. I'll
okay.
correct it later, but for now, after everybody wrote their letters,
I'm done already.
yes. Anybody still doing, or we could start with our discussion? Can we proceed? Or
Yes, proceed with the discussion, please.
Yes,
okay.
continue.
Okay. So basically, okay, where is that letter? I would prefer, like if you write that letter, the first thing that you would mention is, I am writing this letter.
Oh,
Should be like that. Immediately. Or if it's okay, like for example, dear, say Rosemary, comma, after that, first paragraph, you can say, I hope you're doing fine. It's a usual, like an email, right? Or without the I hope you're doing fine, you can go straight to the point. I am writing this letter as I would be leaving for a holiday, and I would like to ask for a favor if you could look after my house and my pet. First, immediately go straight to the point. So always you will say, I am writing this letter. So for example, these are the, always you need to go straight to the point, especially also when you're writing emails, it's always like that. Wait, can you share? So for example, so these are the useful business phrases. I know I should have given you this earlier, but then it's better like, okay, what were my mistakes and how will I correct it? So it's better if I do it that way. That's why I asked you to write a letter before giving you these useful phrases actually. So for example, that one, you're requesting something. So immediately, you start with this. You give reason for writing. Like, I am writing with regard to, but this is a bit formal. Formal, then you go down, it would be less formal. So I am writing, or I'm writing to request, or I am writing to if you want to inform somebody, if you want to inquire, if you want to complain. Usually this would be the beginning. So
But
starting,
the top, it become my second paragraph.
what was your first paragraph?
Greetings from the land of milk and honey.
No need to put that.
Okay.
Better like you go straight to the point. No,
Mom,
usually in the emails, yes?
can I speak? Because the point there is the person is already agreed, right?
No.
Yeah, well, because it's
Yeah,
agreed.
as agreed to look after your house and pet.
Yeah,
Okay.
it means it's already
Yeah.
agreed. So I
So
put
that
what
Yeah,
is,
okay.
So you
So
know
it's
what?
good. Yeah, sorry.
So it means it's understanding that it's already agreed. So what I did is I
Okay.
put like I would like to thank for your
Yes, that's good. Yes,
consideration.
yes, yes.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
I write
I also started like that. I started
Okay,
with,
good.
first of all, I would like to thank you for taking responsibility of taking care of my
yeah,
pet
that
and
is
my
my
house.
first because
That's good. That's
the
good.
subject is it's already agreed about the object.
Or you can say, I am writing to thank you.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Yeah, but that's
because
sorry.
it's already agreed. I think it's a little bit
Oh
formal.
my God. I know, sorry. Oh my mind.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Good, guys. Good that you pointed out to me. So that's a good start.
Oh yeah.
First, you have to, yeah, I am writing to thank you. Or what was it, Rosemary, that you mentioned? Thank you.
Yeah, I said, first of all, I would like to thank you for taking
Yes.
responsibility of taking care for my pet and my house.
Okay, that's good. Then the second paragraph, you go ahead and, so while I'm away, you can say something like that. This would be
Yeah,
my contact details.
I would like to share some details of my current address, so you can contact in emergency or in need of asking anything.
Then second paragraph,
Yeah.
third,
And the third is like continuity of detail. Like first, I have discussed
yes,
about where I'm going, which place, my contact number, my address, and you can even contact me through WhatsApp. And then it's a
ending,
continuation. Then I talked about how my friend has to take care of my pet. She has to give him a food. So and so
yes,
time, like 3 times a day. You have to take my dog
okay,
for the walk 3 times a day. And while taking responsibility of my pet, don't forget to look after my plants, my garden, and cleaning of my house.
My plants
Okay.
in garden.
And most might you have to go to the supermarket to buy a food stuff for my pet. And don't forget to serve him in the bowl, which I placed next to his couch where he used to sleep.
I will not house sit for you, Rosemary. You give a lot of instructions. Yes,
Yes, we agree
basically.
already.
And how many paragraphs did you make? Did you?
These are around like 4, you can say.
That's an ending. What was your ending? Last
My
paragraph.
ending is thanks and regards for your kind and humble favor and support. Your friend Rose.
Can
Thanks,
I
Em.
read mine?
Okay, yeah, Myrtle.
Okay, this is mine, ma'am. Okay. There, Andy, I would like to think of you for your consideration to take care of my house and pets while I am not around. I'd already share with you that maybe it's more than a week before I come back. Here's my contact details. Message me to my WhatsApp as well if you have any concern. I would like to remind you about my cat Fiona to feed at early morning and let my cat live out at night. Please lock my door. Please lock the door every night and water my plants every morning. Thank you for your support, Andy. Love, Bestie, and then my name.
Okay, I just need I need to make some bit corrections later, but
Mm-mm.
the content is okay.
Mashallah.
Yes, just a little correction on the structure, some
Yeah.
sentence structure, pero yes, the content is good. Yeah, at the end of each letter, don't forget, always you have to write the call of action, like what do you want your friend to do at the end of the letter, or at the end of reading the letter.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to share their letter, or just send it to me later?
The lead. Emily.
Emily? Sino? Who wants to share? You're too shy. Like, if you're too shy, wala? Nobody? Emily? The beautiful, beautiful eyes.
Read it now, please.
It's okay. We need to discuss a lot more. So if you're shy, it's okay later. Anyway, I'll check it. So I'll be sending you this one. Wait. I hope, like, for people who are not used to letter writing, this would be a good guide to you, right? So these are some of the useful phrases for business writing. So if you would notice, it started with formal, then it ended up as being informal. So for starting your letters, basically it's more formal to say dear sir or madam. Then if it's informal or personal, you can say hello, like that. Ending, your ending would be yours faithfully. No, I'll be sending this to you, Myrtle, don't worry. Let me
Okay.
take a picture.
Because I have a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Then yours sincerely, but the less formal, the personal one would be bye for now, all the best, like that. So if you want to start your letter, this would be the useful phrases that you would use. For example, if just like you want to say there's a reason for writing, you want to give a reason for writing. So I am writing with regard, I am writing to request, automatically just use that. Like for example, I would like to thank you for taking care of my house and my pet. Just to reiterate, something like that. This would be my contact numbers when you need to contact me during an emergency. So that's how you should write the letter. It's very short and simple. The main my main instructions for you would be keep it short and sweet when you write.
Yeah.
Concise, concrete. Just as long as keep it short and sweet and simple. That's how you should write. So imagine, that's why I'm telling you, immediately when you write your letter, you just give your reason, you add the details, and you say goodbye. Or any call of action, like I hope that, for example, if you want them to reply to you in 1 week, I hope to receive a reply from you, or I hope to get your agreement in 1 week's time, or tomorrow, something like that. So your last paragraph should be always your call to action. So for the beginning ones, for example, No, this one, it's applicable for business situations, right? So you can use this. So if you want to refer to a previous contact, so further to our previous meeting, you can use this immediately. So when you're sending an attachment or enclosure, anyway, this is not, you will not use this for IELTS, but at least I'm telling you, like, if you're not that used to writing your emails, at least you can use this business phrases, right? So when you want to send an attachment, you say, I am attaching. That's more formal. The more personal one is, here is, right? So again, this is more formal. When you go down, it becomes less formal. So if you want to offer more information or help, this is what you write. Please feel free to contact me. So if you want to refer to a future contact, I look forward to hearing from you. So these are the useful phrases that you could, if you want to introduce good news, I am delighted to, I am happy to, I am pleased to. And you just fill in the blanks. It's easy, right? So when you introduce bad news, we regret to inform you, I am afraid, unfortunately, sadly, something like that. So if you want to request, I would be grateful if you would send, could you possibly send, can you send, or please send. Please send is less formal. Thanking, if you want to thank somebody, I would like to thank you for. Less formal would be thank you, thanks for, like that. So just have a look at these useful phrases, and there are the linking words also here that you can use. Conclusion and recommending. So you can use this later. I'll be sending this over to you, okay? So let's proceed with the PowerPoint. So again, as mentioned earlier, there are different types of letters. Basically, you need to write in a formal way. But yeah, there are exemptions if you're asked to write to a friend. So the proper closing and opening for formal letters would be dear sir or madam, and closing would be yours faithfully, then your name. It's like what the example that I showed to you earlier. Anyway, I think you're quite okay with this already. You're good with your letters. The samples that you sent to me earlier before, it was okay. So I don't have any issues much. I do not have too much issues with your letter writing, except maybe some issues with some sentence structures, and that's easy to fix as long as you practice. But for the format of the letters, it's good. I know. Make sure that you divide everything in paragraphs because it's easier to read. Just don't forget that, class, okay? Don't make your letter into a one paragraph letter. Make sure you divide your thoughts into paragraphs. So I've given you an example like how to start it with the useful business phrases I've showed you. And make sure your main body, it would answer all the bullet points, okay? Just don't forget, you have to cover all the bullet points. So your main body of the letter should contain that. Either, say for example, one bullet point, one paragraph, or you could combine two bullet points in one paragraph. It depends. If your answer is quite short, then make it two bullet points in one paragraph, right? So to end your letters, it's always a call of action. Like, what do you want your letter reader to do after reading your letter? So it's either, you can say, if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact me, or I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to receiving your agreement regarding my request, or regarding my request for a review on our fees, something like that. So always it should end with a call to action. Like, what would you want your reader to do after reading your letter? Don't forget that. So so if it's an informal letter, you can use contractions. But then, as mentioned earlier, better to be formal. So make your words complete. Don't use contractions. Yeah, you can use questions, but not too much also. But if it's an informal letter, it's okay. But later, like, okay, refrain. Refrain also from using exclamation points. Always use linking words and yeah, both for formal and informal. So better avoid using contractions, guys. Okay, like complete your I am, don't use I'm, just to save time. Because it's better again, it's better to be formal. So let's go to task 2 of the IELTS writing exam. Again, you are required to write 250 words. So to be on the safe side, it should be 250, 260, 270. 300, it's too much wordy. Oh my internet. I hope it says here my internet connection is a bit unstable. So hopefully I am not lagging. I hope not. So ideally, you have to write your essay in 40 minutes because you've allotted 20 minutes for your letter and 40 minutes for your essay. Hopefully, if you write fast, I think a while ago, some of you finished writing your letter in 10 minutes tops. So at least you have, say, 50 minutes to write your part 2, the essay part. So it's a good thing, yeah? To make sure you write fast for part 1. And because your grade also, you have a larger chunk for part 2, for task 2. Like 1/3 of your grade is for letter writing and 2/3 will be for the essay. Okay, so remember that, class. So if you feel like it would take you time to write your essay, go ahead and proceed to writing your essay, then write your letter later. So there would be various topics of general interest. So sometimes like regarding health or regarding history, yeah, current affairs, travel, shopping, recreation, regarding the environment. Maybe there would be a discussion on climate change, homeschooling. Those would be the topics that you would encounter for the essay. Again, you have to write incomplete sentences. Some people, I don't know why it was mentioned here that notes are not acceptable. Of course, when you're writing your essay, it should be in complete sentences. Do not also copy whole sentences or phrases from the question. Remember, when there's a question, we tend to write our answer or pattern answer based from the words from the question. Refrain from doing that. Better you have to rephrase. It's also the same like when you, oh wait, I have to mute you guys. It's also the same when you're speaking, remember? You need to rephrase when you answer. You can write on the question sheet. You will also be given some draft or scrap papers to take your notes or to organize your thoughts. So don't worry about that. So again, when you start answering for the essay, you have to read the question carefully. Remember, you have points for accuracy. If you didn't answer the question, that's a big chunk of your score that would be shaved off or taken off. You have to analyze the topic and the task because sometimes some essay questions, they would ask for your opinion. Some essay questions, they wouldn't ask for your opinion. We will cover that later. What type of essay questions ask for your opinions and what type of essay questions they would just want you like to write what would be the advantages or disadvantages, something like that. Again, you have to brainstorm ideas to be used in your writing. You have to decide which side you will take on because some essay immediately they would ask you to take sides. You don't need to mention this is the pro and this is the con. Sometimes immediately you have to take your side and explain why you decided to take that side. Then you have to arrange your ideas into paragraphs. I will be teaching you later like how to divide them, so it is much easier. Okay. So usually it should be around 40 minutes and say it would be 2 pages of your answer sheet. I'll give you a sample answer sheet later. So if you have a printer, or you can print it in the office, and you can practice answering from there. So at least you would have an idea. Like if you filled up one paper, you already have an idea. It's around 100 words, right? It depends on how big you write, how big your letters are. So when you practice on the answer sheet, at least you would know, oh, I filled up this one page. It means at least maybe I've covered. You already know, you already have an estimate on the number of words that you've written. So typically, this is the suggestion on how you will divide your time when you're writing the essay. So say you have 40 minutes to do task 2. So the suggestion is spend your first 10 minutes planning your essay structure and brainstorming the ideas for the 2 main body paragraphs. So at least 10 minutes for that. Then you spend 5 minutes writing your 2-sentence introduction. So that would be the first paragraph. Then then spend 20 minutes on the main body. So the main body of your essay would be 2 paragraphs at least. So it's 10 minutes for each paragraph. Then spend the last 5 minutes writing your conclusion. Sometimes the conclusion, it's just a paraphrase of your introduction. So it's easier for you. So basically, ideally, this should be how you should divide your time when you're writing the essay. Again, this is just a suggestion, but at least if you have an idea, like it's good, right? It's a good starting point for you guys. So let's go to the different types of questions or essay. So there are 5 different tasks that illustrate the different types of task to questions. So one type of essay question is, to what extent do you agree and or disagree? So this is an example. Some people think that the only purpose of working hard is to earn money. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? Okay. Another question type is, discuss both views and give your opinion. So for here, this is a sample top question. Some believe that punishment is the only purpose of prisons, while others believe that prisons exist for various reasons. So discuss both views and give your opinion. So that's another type of question or essay question. Third type of essay question is, what are the advantages and or disadvantages? So this is another sample question. So in some countries, governments are encouraging industries and businesses to move to regional areas outside the big cities. Do the advantages of this trend outweigh the disadvantages? The fourth type of essay question is, what are the causes and give solutions? So a sample of this question is, despite improvements in vehicle technology, there are still a large number of road accidents. Explain some of the causes of these accidents and suggest some measures that could be taken to address the problem. Lastly, this is the 5th type of essay question. It's a multiple or 2-part question task. So this is the sample question. Many people around the world are choosing to move to live in cities. What problems do people experience in big cities? Should governments encourage people to move to smaller towns? So, okay, let's proceed. Let's see how to answer these types of questions. So, okay, when do you give your opinion? So only 2 types of questions are you asked to give your opinion. Okay? So only 2 of the above questions do not ask for your opinion. So number 2, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. And number 6, what are the benefits and drawbacks? This type of questions, they do not ask for your opinions. So if you find questions such as this in your paragraph, in your essay, we shouldn't see anything, you shouldn't state anything like, in my opinion, something like that, okay? It's straight to the point These are the advantages, one paragraph. These are the disadvantages, second paragraph. Or these are the benefits, first paragraph, or no, first paragraph of the body, I mean, and the second body should be about the drawbacks. So if this is the type of question that you would encounter, first paragraph would be introduction, second paragraph would be the advantages, third paragraph would be the disadvantages, and lastly would be your summary. For number 6, again, first paragraph would be introduction, second paragraph would be the benefits, third paragraph would be the drawbacks, and fifth paragraph would be the conclusion. So that's easy.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes?
Ma'am, why do I don't need to put my own opinion?
No, because these are the type of questions. When they say you have to discuss the advantages and disadvantages, you have to you cannot say,
Generalize.
yeah, it's generalize.
Okay. It's just my
Yes.
own point of view.
Yes.
Okay.
You cannot say from my, at least you can phrase it only and say this is the advantages. You cannot say in my point of view this is the advantage. Okay, number 2 and 6 are discussion questions. In this type of essay, you have to discuss both sides of the issue, but you don't give your opinion about which side you agree with. Okay, you don't say I agree with this side or I don't agree with this side. For 2 and 6, you are only asked to discuss both sides of the issue. Remember, number 2 and 6, you're only asked to discuss, but you will not say I agree with the advantages or you disagree with whatever. Numbers 1 and 5 are opinion questions. You have to give your opinion and support it. You don't need to mention the other side of the argument. So number 1 and 5. Number 1 and 5 is, to what extent do you agree? So 5 also, is it a positive or negative development? So for example, number 1, what's the question for number 1? Some people think that the only purpose of working hard is to earn money. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? So immediately state that if you agree, like, yeah, the purpose of working hard is to earn money. If you agree to that statement, and you give examples why you agree to that. Then again, you round it up and write your summary. I know it sounds easy when I explain it, but later we will go through them one by one again. We will dissect them. So, like number 5, what's the question number 5? It's an opinion question, so you have to give your opinion and support it. Again, you don't need to mention the other side of the argument. So what is number 5? Is it a positive or negative development? So immediately you can say, it is a positive development because blah, 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 paragraph, second paragraph, then another supporting paragraph, then summary. So what's the sample of number 5? Is that the one? I don't have number 6. Is the positive or negative? They did not give me an example here. Okay, never mind. So number 3 and 4, it's called discussion plus opinion questions. In here, you have to discuss both sides, and also you have to give your opinion, which side you agree on. Okay, so number 3 and 4, discuss both views and give your opinion. Opinion here means you have to give your side. Okay, 3 and 4, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Again, you have to discuss both sides. Then again, you have to say which side are you on. Okay? So just take note of this. So what's the writing structure? Wait, sorry. So again, basically, this is how you should structure your essay. Say, your introduction would be around 60 words. In that introduction, you paraphrase the task. So you just rephrase the question. Then you have stated your opinion if you're required to your position, your opinion or your position. You've stated your opposition. Then you write an essay overview, like you would say like, I would be stating my position in this essay, something like that. So again, the second paragraph, you would write your supporting paragraph. So state your position number 1. Why are you supporting that? Explain why. You give example, then again, you summarize the paragraph. It's the summary of this paragraph would be, it's like a rephrasing again of your position here, this one. Again, you have to write again another, say a paragraph, a supporting paragraph. Again, state why your position is like that. Number 2, explain why. You give an example, then again, you summarize the paragraph, this paragraph. Again, to summarize a paragraph, it's just a restatement or say a paraphrase version of the introduction or the first sentence here. So that's why it's easy. So sometimes you don't need to brainstorm a lot of ideas or supporting ideas. You just need to have 2 supporting ideas and you have to expand on it. Right? See, you just need 1 supporting position, second supporting position, expand on that, expand on that. Then you write your conclusion. Again, like everything for conclusion, usually it's just a paraphrasing of your introduction. Then you give your final thought. Let's move on to more examples. But usually this is the suggested template or structure. Okay. So for example, this is the type of question. Government investment in the visual arts, the kind you commonly see in art galleries, is a waste of money. Governments must invest this money in public services instead. To what extent do you agree with this statement? So this type of questions, how can you answer this? If it's a to what extent, number one is, it's an opinion question. So you give your opinion and support it. You don't need to mention the other side of the argument. So you go back. So give your opinion. Do you agree to this or do you not agree that government should invest in the visual arts? So your first paragraph should state, I agree or you don't agree. Then write the supporting paragraphs. Why do you agree? 1. Again, another one. Why do you agree? Number 2. Then again, you write a summary. So this is the sample. The sample of the introduction only, okay? This is just the introduction. Wait. So, again, for this is just the introduction, this one. So, let's see the sample. How did they write? So, they paraphrased the task question, and the answer was, these days, many local governments spend large portions of their budget not only on public services, but also on the visual arts. Then, he or she already stated her opinion. Although I agree that it is important to invest in local amenities, I do not think spending on the visual arts is a waste of money. So she wants government to spend on the visual arts. That's her position. Then again, so she stated like, this essay will discuss this issue using examples to support arguments and demonstrate my points. So that's her introduction. Then she moved to the supporting paragraph. So at least your aim is to write 2 supporting paragraphs and roughly with 85 words each. So again, let's go back. So that's the introduction. Then next would be, you would write this one and you would write this one, supporting paragraphs, 2 supporting paragraphs. So how can you write that supporting paragraph? This is supporting paragraph number 1. So her first position is, on the one hand, spending a significant amount of the government budget on public services is beneficial for society. Providing for basic amenities such as hospitals, roads, and schools helps to determine the quality of life that most citizens will have. Then she gave an example. Then therefore, it is apparent that spending on public services is a worthwhile investment for a government. So she supported like I agree that it's okay for government to spend on amenities. So this was her supporting. Then again, she supported with the second paragraph. However, this does not mean that the visual arts should be completely neglected. Why? The visual arts also have an important impact on our quality of life. So for example, a recent study conducted by WHO concluded that individuals that regularly visit art galleries are cited as being 20% happier in life than people who do not. Then again, she made a summary. Seeing the health benefits that many people get from the visual arts, it is important that the government assist such institutions so that they can continue to provide pleasure to the public. Wait, I have a message. Maybe it's you guys. Okay, not you. Okay. So after that, you write your conclusion. Again, we're finished with, so we finished with the introduction. You've seen how she wrote her supporting paragraph number 1 and supporting paragraph number 2. So let's see how she wrote and answered. She wrote the conclusion for that essay question. So again, this is the essay question. So how did she write her conclusion? Again, the conclusion as mentioned earlier, it's just a reinstatement of your position or your opinion. So you just reinstate what you wrote in the introduction. So the conclusion is, so to sum up, so it's good that you have to, you can start your, with your, for the conclusion, it's good that use these kinds of linking phrases like in conclusion, to sum up, consequently, yeah, you can use those one just so you can tidy it up and put them all together. So for this, to sum up, although there are clear benefits of ensuring a large amount of investment goes into public services, I do not believe spending money on the arts is a waste of money, as this too provides important benefits. So that's the conclusion. In the future, so she put another, just a goodbye thing. Government should consider budgeting for both. So she said like it should be a balance also between spending on amenities or infrastructures plus spending on the visual arts, right? I know I don't like that topic. Okay, so let's go one by one. Let's see how to answer, how to make introductions with different types of question, with different essay types, okay? So for example, this is your question. All high school students should be encouraged to take part in community service programs. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? So in here, this is the sample introduction. Just have a look. So some people believe that high school students would benefit from doing unpaid work in their local communities. I completely agree that community service programs for teenagers are a good idea. So remember, for this type of question, you already have to state your position. You don't need to say, I agree or I don't disagree, blah, blah, blah. Or again, you already say, I agree or I completely disagree. You have to state your position already, especially in the first paragraph. Again, this is a to what extent question. Yeah, so as computers are being used more and more in education, there will be soon no role for the teacher in the classroom. To what extent do you agree? So in here, the paragraph you would see, she already wrote, I do not agree. Immediately, she stated her opinion or her position. So don't forget. So for those type of question types, immediately you have to state your position, okay? So this is another way of organizing your paragraphs. But for me, it's easier. The first one that I've shown you, the template, that's the easiest one. But this is another way. So for example, later I would ask you to write an essay, and this would be your guidance. So later, wait. Again, later we will do this essay. I've already given you some sample sample ideas that you can use if you agree or disagree. So later, that would be your writing exercise. Okay, later we'll finish first with the discussion, and you can proceed with your writing exercises later. Okay, class?
Okay.
Yes. So, okay. So how to write your conclusion? Why am I so fast? Okay. Here are some example conclusion phrases for the different types of question. So if it's a to what extent topic or opinion question, the best way to write your conclusion would be like this. For the reasons mentioned above, I believe that blah, blah, blah. So repeat your opinion. Okay? So if the question is discuss both views and topics, so it's a discussion plus opinion question, your conclusion should be written this way. In conclusion, there are convincing arguments both for and against. You paraphrase the topic, but I believe that blah, 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 like that. So this is a sample template. Again, if your type of question is advantages and disadvantages, how do you end your essay? Should be this way. In conclusion, I would argue that the benefits of blah, blah, blah outweigh the drawbacks. See, you just need to paraphrase the topic. It's just an insert here. You have this template and you have to insert. So it's easy, right? So cause and effect solution topics. So if your question is something like this, your conclusion should be written. In conclusion, it is clear that there are various reasons for blah, 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 and steps need to be taken to tackle this problem. So how? So let's see. So these are the examples. We didn't cover the body. It's easier to, later if you have more time, I suggest like you go over this. For example, there's already a sample introduction and there's a sample conclusion. Try to make a body, 2-paragraph body. That would be a good exercise for you. I think yeah, it's one of the exercises that you should do after this session, by the way. I know it takes time, but it's good. It's a good practice. So for example, this is the topic. Don't worry if you cannot do it, if you cannot do all, it's okay. But like I suggest that you have to do it. Okay, class? So example number 1, to what extent topics? So this is the question. Just read. Then this is the sample introduction. Yeah. The writer agrees that older generations that ideas are not helpful. Ideas from the old people. So this is a sample introduction. Then again, this is a sample conclusion. It's either if you don't agree anyway, or if you agree, it's good that you write the supporting paragraphs. Okay, so that's another exercise for us later. For example, okay, this is a discussion number 2 topic. Discuss both views and, so this is the question. It's painful now. I want to read, but, so have a look at the question type. So this is the sample introduction. And this is the sample conclusion. Again, later, I hope you can fill in 2 paragraphs to support this, okay? I know it's a lot. Writing, a lot of students are not good in writing. They get a low band score in writing. So again, this would be a good practice for you guys. I know it would take time and it's a lot of work. I know I'm giving you a lot of work, but it's a good thing, right? I hope you will find it. Yeah, it's advantageous for you guys. It's not advantageous for me because I get to check a lot of stuff. If you send me more, yeah, I get to check a lot. And we will be discussing more later during our interview. So again, this is an advantages and disadvantages topic essay. So this is the question. And this was how they wrote the introduction, how the examinee wrote the introduction. And I'll just proceed. You can read all naman later eh. And this is the sample conclusion. Okay? Again, this is another type of question, the cause and effect. So this was the question. This was how the examinee answered. This was the introduction. And again, see, this is good. Like you can use this kind of linking words to put in the nutshell. Yeah, in conclusion, to sum up, to put in a nutshell, to conclude. So use those linking words. So for two-part questions, this is the type of question. This is the sample introduction. And this is a sample conclusion. It's a lot. So I'm also, and I hope, again, later, once you do everything, I hope you can do supporting paragraphs. Okay, class? So this is the two-part question topics. So this is the sample introduction. Then again, this is the sample conclusion. So again, if you don't agree or you can change, rephrase this in such a way, and you can write your supporting paragraphs in a different way, okay? But at least you can pattern it after this. So again, another exercise. I know it's more exercises, right? That's why I don't like the writing part because you will learn more with practice. So this is the question type. You have to discuss both views and give your opinion. So this is the example. I've already given the introduction. Then I've already given you some samples on what to write on paragraph 1. I just want you to fix them up. Again, some samples on what to write on paragraph 2. So you can fix them up also. And here's the conclusion. Okay, class? So, oh my God. We have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, that's why we finish early. Because you have a lot of, my gosh. I know, I hope you're okay with lots of, so guys, it's, okay. So if you can, I suggest that, for example, 6:26, 7:26, 5, 8, 40 minutes, 6:20, 7:20. It should be at least you should write 3 essays, okay? After you finish this class, around 8 o'clock, you should be able to submit 3 essays to me. Yes. I hope.
Today, ma'am, or within this week?
Within this 8 o'clock.
Huh?
Oh.
So ideally, because you have to write in 40 minutes. Okay?
How many words, ma'am?
250. 250.
Oh my.
Yes.
So, ma'am, 40 minutes, 3 essays?
40 minutes.
3 essays.
No, because it's still 6:20, it's 6:30, okay? 6:30, 7:10. Okay, 2 essays before 8 o'clock. Okay, 2 essays before 8 o'clock. That's the ideal, ha? Ideally, you have to submit to me before 8 o'clock 2 essays. You have to pressure yourself, okay?
Okay.
But if you cannot do it, it's okay with me. at least you have to submit one essay before the end of today.
Okay.
Okay.
What is
Either WhatsApp, ma'am, or email.
Okay.
Email.
Email.
Yes.
Together with
The same email
letter
ad
for a friend.
before? Is it the same email address before?
Yes. The friend one,
Okay.
it's okay. That would be, no, just submit that later. I submit it together with the essay.
In the
Because I need to check that.
email.
Yes.
So
Rayma
we are
Dor?
going to submit you one letter and one essay.
2 essay. Too much, ma'am.
Because our target is, when we're doing this in class, usually, okay, our target is at least you finish one essay. But ideally, if you have until 8 o'clock today, you have to finish 2 essays. That's the ideal situation.
Okay.
But if you can do it, please push yourself to write 2 essays. I want you to push yourself. But then, if anyway you're still starting, send one essay. Okay? You can
All
choose.
right.
It's either, if it's difficult for you, I suggest that you start with, remember I gave you, you already have the introduction and you already have the conclusion. You can
Yeah.
you copy that or you rephrase that and insert the 2 supporting paragraph. If you find it difficult, if that is easy for you, start with that. I suggest that you start with that, right? Or you can choose any of the samples here to expand, okay? Or you can go for this homeschooling or this dilemma, this one, introduction, this one. Can you see it?
No.
This one. You can see it now? This
Yes.
introduction.
Yeah, that's okay.
This one, I've already given you some ideas. So if you want, you can paraphrase this. Expand paragraph number 1, expand paragraph number 2, paraphrase conclusion, because that's a good start rather than starting from scratch, right? Or if you're very brave, start from scratch. Go for this homeschooling.
Ma'am, we're done with the homeschooling. That's
Are you
our
done?
assignment.
It was the day first in the beginning you gave us to
Yeah,
write
that's our
down.
first
Yeah,
assignment.
that's the
Good.
first.
How about this one? Some people believe that studying at university.
Not yet.
Yes. So you can start with this.
Okay.
You
But-
can check to the WhatsApp, ma'am, right?
Yeah. Okay. Better email, please.
Email, okay.
I know, I mean this one, the title of the EC. The discussion of the EC, this one.
This PowerPoint, I'll send it on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, all right.
Page
I think
48.
I've given you some samples. Yeah, ideally before 8 o'clock, at least you could write 2 essays, ideally, huh?
Okay.
Because you have to push yourself. Because if you're in a real classroom setting, I wouldn't ask you to go to leave the class until you write something. Right?
Yeah.
Advantage of
Agree.
homeschooling.
That's a good thing actually about face-to-face instruction. With Zoom, I could say, Ma'am, can we just send it by email? Right?
Yeah.
Too much excuses.
Yes, too much excuses. But then at least I have to pressure you, and you need to pressure yourself that within this time frame, you can finish one essay. Or within this time frame, let's say before 8 o'clock, you can finish 2 essays. Ideally, it should be like that. Okay, class?
All right.
Yes.
Okay, thank
So I'll
you.
send you the
The title.